right, you want me to tell you? All right, here I go. Jonah wants to know what stuff I took from the set, and I mean, I fleeced the place. Early on, I convinced the wardrobe lady that I needed to wear Prada at all times. I was like, no, I look good in Prada and Gucci, and that's pretty much it. So I've got, and Jonah has one of my shirts actually, which is made by a company called Pink, which is a British company, shirt maker, that they make some great shirts, but that was like season 2. So, by season 5, I was season 3. There you go. Thank you, Jonah.
You just got school, man.
Worked. I took virtually all my wardrobe. Like, I have a better closet than my wife. She's just like, why do you get all those brand of shirts? And so I have a great wardrobe. And I also took the one and only Tesla rifle in existence. From the Emily Lake episode where we find Jinx, and there's one of them in existence, and I had the whole cast sign, and I'm like, hey, could you sign this for? And Joanne's like, are you gonna sell this? Because I know you sell it, and I'm like, no. And so I'm going to sell it. I also got my castmates to sign the last script from the last episode that I'm gonna sell. I mean, everyone's like, no, you'll keep that forever. I'm like, no. No, I won't. Let's see, what else? The one thing that I will keep forever, there was a pair of bongos that sat on Artie's desk, and it was never featured in the show or anything like that, but it was just this tiny little set of bongos that between takes I would just walk around, boom, 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 boom. That didn't make anyone crazy. They loved when I did that. So I just thought, this is a perfect thing. If anything on the show has been imbued with the powers of an artifact, it would have been those bongos, because it was like, oh God, Eddie's playing the bongos. That's awesome. We love when he does that. So I had the entire cast and crew sign my bongos, and that's not a euphemism. We signed Joanne's bongos too, but that's a whole other. Hello, and Mrs. Fredericks, but you're too young to hear that story. So she's a wildcat. So that's the stuff I took. Yeah.
Thank you. Great
Yes,
question.
Yes.
Hi.
What's your name?
My name's Erin. Hi. So I was at San Diego Comic-Con in 2010 when Nathan Fillion put on a hat, fake mustache, and ambushed Joss Whedon's panel.
Oh.
And
So I'm a copycat.
yeah.
Okay. At least I'm copying the best. You know what I'm saying?
And then with the incident yesterday, I was wondering, do you have any other targets on your list, or is there anyone you're hoping will crash your panels?
I don't know.
Yeah,
Everybody's
I had
gone.
another plan. I like that she calls it the incident.
Yes, the incident. That's right. I crashed Kate Mulgrew in Vegas. I played the one-armed chicken farmer. I was like, hey, what happened to my arm? I got these chickens. They had my arm. And she was like, oh my God, what is happening? And the room that she was in was like virtually the same size as the one that they were in yesterday. I mean, it was enormous, and people were just like, get him out, he's drunk. And then she was like, oh, it's Eddie, and then it was okay. But it was a little touch and go there for a minute. I don't know. I don't have any plans to crash anymore, but I need to come up with a new character, a new bit, apparently. So, but the butt crack will always. Yeah. That's I gotta learn that one. So.
I had to call security off you yesterday.
Oh, good.
Yeah, the guy next to me was like, we got a guy with his butt hanging out here.
He's been drinking. Thank you. Hello, darling. will you give us your name?
Katie,
Katie, yes, what's your question?
I was wondering if you could go on any game show, which one you would choose?
Oh, probably would be the Gong Show. I don't know if you remember the Gong Show. You weren't even.
Chuck Berry.
But, there was a show back in the '70s, and I just heard about it because I wasn't alive then. But they bring these like insanely ridiculous acts, and then three celebrities. I mean, they always got the celebrity like, the guy who played the doctor in the 4th episode of You Name That Doctor, and people like, who are you? But then they would gong them if they were incredibly bad. So I'm sure whatever I did would be not good. So it would probably be the Gong Show or Jeopardy. I actually like playing Jeopardy. My roommates and I in college used to play Jeopardy, like beer Jeopardy. So by the end, we were like, "Let's say good for 400, Alex." Yeah, seeing me drunk is a real pleasure. There's a lot of there's more butt crack. So, yeah, is that all right? Sure. All right, coming over. Hey man, what's your name? Mitch. Nice name, Mitch. Mitch. We're gonna fight right now. What's your name? Mitch. Never mind. I don't fight with Mitches, because what's your question, Mitch?
Well, I was wondering, the last episode you said, or Pete said anyway, that the thing you put in the archive was all the warehouse moments. I was wondering, was that like Pete or you, where everything for you was the best, or was there one thing that stood out as the best?
Wow, that's a good question. Mitch. I'm very connected to this show. Where I come from, I grew up as a wrestler, football player from Ohio who moved to LA to sell corporate insurance for my uncle. He fired me after 7 months. Responsibility was not my strong suit. So after I kind of turned my life around, I decided to get sober, I've been sober now for almost 15 years. Probably my greatest accomplishment other than my 2 sons. So to have a network say to me, "We trust you with this television show," it was a huge responsibility and a great compliment for me. So having to put that away was hard. So in that scene when and Jack Kenny, my exec producer, he knows how attached and how much the show means to me and how much the people mean to me. So when he said that, I think he was speaking for me. I think he was speaking for Pete. I think he was speaking for the cast and the crew and everyone. But especially for me, because the whole thing for me was a dream. I mean, a dream come true. I'm able to put my sons in a proper school. I got indoor plumbing at the house, which is coming from Ohio. That's a big deal. So yeah, it's a good question. I would say that I was speaking for myself and for Pete, mostly. Yeah. Thanks, Mitch. I saw the pictures when I was doing the gut thing yesterday, and I was like, oh, I'm a little too good at that right now. I've got what I call the, oh my God, my show's been canceled 20. I gotta get back in the gym, it's like I've been playing Call of Duty and eating Cheetos. I'm working on my KD. Hello. What's your name?
Marky.
Marky, nice to see you.
Nice to see you. So the first thing I ever saw you on was House. And I was wondering what it was like working with Hugh Laurie and Omar Epps, and what it was like guest starring on an already established show.
Okay. Guest starring on other people's shows was kind of my thing for a lot of years. I've done probably 50 guest spots on 40 different shows. I've done 10 pilots.
Do you have a favorite? Do you have one
I've
that you
had
just...
5 series. It was once written of me, Eddie McClintock has done more pilots than a stewardess. Actually, when I did House, I really didn't get to work with Hugh. I sat and talked to him a little bit, but we really didn't get to work together, and I didn't get to work with Omar either. I talked to him, and they seemed like really cool guys. Doing guest spots it's interesting. I likened it to kind of showing up at someone's door with your sleeping bag and your stuff and going, hey, I'm going to be parked in front of the TV for the next 7 days. Don't mind me, because there's all kinds. There's office politics. There's set politics, and there's the 2 leads hate each other and they don't talk. So if you talk to one, the other one may hate you. Like, oh, he likes her better. Why is he talking to her? I hate her. So there's a lot of stuff going on. So it's kind of like you got to be a politician. You have to walk a pretty fine line in there. It's great practice for when you get your own show. So by the time I got Warehouse 13, I kind of was used to navigating, and I saw a lot of people do a lot of things wrong, and I saw a lot of people do a lot of things right, and I was able, I think, to learn from that. So, yeah, cool.
Great question.
That's a good question. Hello.
Hello.
I'm gonna take another picture of my face. Okay, good.
Get his good side there. Get his good side.
Yes, what's your name?
I'm Dakota.
Dakota, what's your question?
So I was wondering, I was reading in your bio that you're really into art, and I actually checked out your site. Your stuff's really great. I really love it. But I'm also super into art, and I was reading that you had a lot of problems, like when you were a kid, going through.
So many.
Yeah, like art teachers telling you that you weren't any good. So I was wondering, like, how you get past that, how you get past the struggle of people telling you that you're not good enough, but you're passionate about something and you're gonna do it. Like, how do you feel about that?
Wow, another good question. Before iPads and iPhones and all that stuff, we used to have, there were these things called pencils. And we would go to dinner someplace, and as soon as we'd sit down, my mom would pull out the pencil on a piece of paper and I would draw. So by the time I got into grade school, high school, I was into drawing. I loved to draw, and I actually went to college to get my degree in art. And then I saw a starving artist sale on TV, a commercial and beautiful works of art. And I'm like, man, if these guys are starving, I need to find something else to do because I'm not that good. So I got a degree in drinking, I got a degree in business communications, whatever that is, but it was basically, I learned how to drink beer out of a boot. I crammed 4 years of education into 6. But I always kept my art, and so when Warehouse 13 started to have some success, my wife was just like, you should throw your art up on a website and see if people. The art is basically the result of my my damaged childhood, especially as a recovering Catholic. Yes. I went to Catholic school.
You studied at school for your behaviors.
Oh my God! Yeah. Oh yeah. I loved Godzilla. And Ultraman. Oh, yeah. And then there was Johnny Sacco and the robot, and it was the missiles coming out of his hands. And So there was one time when I had finished with my test, whatever it was, and I drew a scene of, Godzilla coming through the city, and there was flames and, destruction, and that's what I was into. And the nuns were just like, oh dear, man, this guy's really whacked out, man. So they had a shrink come in and study me, and also I was the kid where like you'd be, something would be happening in class, and all of a sudden, woo, 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 and I'd be like, oh my God, a fire truck, a fire truck, and then all the other kids would be like, oh my God, a fire truck. So they were like, he's disruptive, and so they put me on Ritalin. They were like, this kid needs hyper pills. And then one day during class, one of my teachers was like, did you forget to take your hyper pill at lunch? And I was just like, hurt me inside. And so, my dad took me off Ritalin, and I was an exuberant kid whose spirit the nuns just never could break. They never really broke me. Why they didn't break me, I don't know, because they tried really hard. I think part of it was my father was just like, this is for the birds, and he took me out of there. But, look, whether my artwork is good or not, I don't know. I know that I love making it, so I think that's what's really the important thing. It doesn't really matter what anybody else says, whether it's good or not good.
It's beautiful, Eddie.
Thank you. Oh, the catastrophe, or thank you. Whether it's good or not, or whether and I think the same goes for writing or anything. If you love to do it, who cares what anybody else says? Yes, my love. What's your name?
Taylor.
Hi, Taylor.
Okay, so my question is, what was it like working on a set like Warehouse 13?
What was it like? Thank you. What was it like working on Warehouse 13 set? Well, first of all, our exec producer Jack Kenny is one of my favorite humans in the world, and it's kind of a top-down thing. I think for those of you who work, usually it's the boss that sets the tone. And if the boss is cool, usually everything, as long as the work gets done, the vibe on the set is generally pretty good. So Jack kind of set the tone there. This Warehouse 13 was his baby. And if you watch the pilot, this was before Jack stepped in, so there's not a lot of comedy in the pilot, and actually they didn't know if Warehouse 13 was going to be a comedy or whether it was going to be an X-Files, and then they hired me. Oh no, there will be fart jokes, and jokes about boobs, and kind of I'm sorry?
Uranus.
She said Uranus.
Uranus, yeah, my anus, Uranus. Wow, we're talking about anuses.
That went downhill fast.
Yeah, we digress. Actually, and it all kind of started with the cookie line. When Artie says, "I made cookies," and Pete goes, "Ooh," and that wasn't there. And the director, I remember, was like, he was like, "Okay, do a couple like that, but let's have some serious ones." And then that kind of became the touchstone for the show, like the fact that the show was going to have a sense of humor. So to get back to your question, what was it like to work on the set? I loved it. I mean, I worked in a pine tree field in Ohio in the summer a few summers. My dad's best friend had a nursery. So it was my job to go out and prune pine trees, and I did that all day for an entire summer, and all you do was walk down the row and prune them and walk back. And I don't ever want to do that again. So the fact that I was able to go to work, play a character that I don't think was that far from who I am, with people that I love. I get to run around and carry a ray gun, and my mom is a Starfleet captain, and my wife is the hottest Borg in the universe. I mean, this is a dream come true. I got to meet Brent Spiner and all these like people that I admired as a kid. So coming from being a wrestling, football, jock kid from Ohio to being on my own television show, I don't think there was a day that went by that I just was like, I'm the luckiest guy on the planet. So it was all gravy for me. Yes. Hey man, your name, sir? Mark. Mark, hello.
My question is,
Mitch. Mark, where is Mitch? We can work it out.
my question is, have you ever considered doing anything animated or like video game related?
Yeah. Would I do anything animated or video game related? Like creating?
Like acting.
Oh, acting, voice acting? Yeah, I would love to do it. It's I never really established myself in that area in regards to that business. Guys at this phase of the game are have already established themselves. Unless you become Nathan Fillion, right? And then people come to you. With the success of Warehouse 13, maybe there'll be some people out there, but when you become as successful as Nathan is, he has 2.5 million Twitter followers. I mean, that's mind-blowing, right? I went over to his house and we live tweeted the season 6 finale of Castle. I did the finale episode, and within 3 hours I gained 6,000 Twitter followers. And then the next day I tweeted something about a dong and lost 4,000. Because they're kind of highbrow over there. They're like, well, that guy's kind of crass. Yes, I am. So, move along. But yeah, I would love to do it. I think it would be a lot of fun. I'm a video game, as I said, I played a lot of Call of Duty, and I used to play lots of Resident Evil. I like first-person shooters. But since I had children, my wife, because I used to play until my eyes would just be bleeding, right? I can't do that with kids, but now that they're 8 and 9, I spend some time back in my man cave, and my wife comes out and she's like, oh, you're playing again. Those things don't play in your computer games? It's done wonders for my marriage.
Thank you for your question.
I'm some divorce lawyer's dream. Hey, what? No. What? No! I have the microphone, sorry. You take the microphone. Let's talk together. You take one too. What's your name?
I'm the doctor.
You're an doctor?
Yes.
What's your name?
I'm the doctor.
Oh, you're the doctor.
The doctor. From the planet Gallifrey.
Oh, very good.
903 years old.
Very good.
In justice once, everybody lives.
Will you be giving me a physical?
I'm not that kind of doctor.
This isn't about a cavity search.
I'm a Time Lord.
You don't ask me to cough and turn my head.
I basically rescue the galaxy.
Excellent.
It's not a big deal.
Excellent. Well, you're a Whovian, obviously.
Of course.
Very good, very good. Now, what's your question? Don't try and this is my time.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Mr. Shine.
Mr. Pete.
Yes.
But basically what I wanted to say was...
Really? Exhilarating.
He lost the accent, he lost his mind.
But basically what I wanted to say was, did the Regents creep you out, and were you terrified of Miss Frederick, yes. And
Lover of the show, are you?
Well, yes, I am. I'm just a bit nervous because you're awesome and you're one of my...
Dude, you don't need to be nervous around me.
And also, I just wanted to know, what was it like working with Micah?
Okay, good question.
I also wanted to know if I could take a selfie with you.
Hold, please.
Thanks, fantastic. Thank you.
Yeah, sure. Thank you. Oh, right on. Did the regions creep me out? No. I love the idea that the regents are just everyday people. Like the fact that they met at a diner, and that they don't have to be some kind of the skulls or the Illuminati or something like that, some chosen people. They're just everyday people that are making the decision. I like that about the show. I thought that was a good decision. The next question was...
Mrs. Somebody.
What was it like working with Micah? I remember that.
Mrs.
Look, Joanne,
Frederick, right.
I drove Joanne insane. Okay, there's a lot of Micah in old Joanne. Like she's not a morning person, and me, I come to the set, I'm like, hey, hi, good morning, hey, how you doing? Hey, what's up? And she comes in and she's like, oh my God, settle down. And there was one episode we were being pulled by a picture car, so we were in this old convertible, and I was like, Joanne, do I drive you crazy? And she goes, sometimes I want to stab you in the eye with a pencil. But if you were any other way, it just wouldn't be the same. And that was kind of our relationship. I mean, she was punching me in the shoulder just as many times off camera as she was on camera. And she would just be like, oh my God, Eddie, would you just have some self-control? And that's what made our relationships so special. I mean, when I was testing for the show, you basically, what I mean by that is they test actors, you audition, and then they go, okay, of the 1,000 actors that have come in for you, we're going to pick 3, and then you 3 are going to come to the network, and then you're going to act this out in front of the studio heads, and then we're going to decide whether or not you're good enough to have the job, right? So I showed up to the test, and usually there's like 3 Petes, 3 Micahs. There were 6 Petes and 6 Micahs. So now instead of like a 1 in 3 chance, it's 1 in 6. And I hadn't worked for a while. I just had my second son, and I was just like, oh my God, no. So they started mixing and matching us, meaning, okay, Eddie, you're gonna go in with this Micah, you're gonna go in with this Pete, and we were going in and coming out and going in. And at lunchtime, they cut 3 and 3, they cut 3 Petes and 3 Micahs. Imagine that. Well, you can go home now. Well, does that mean that I'm not gonna? No, it just, you can go. So maybe I could still get the job? Just go. Oh, okay, so I'll go. Call if you need my agent. So that's humiliating enough. So now it's down to 3 and 3. So my odds got a little better. But I hadn't gone in with Joanne all day, so I was like, oh, she must not be that good. I'm kidding, she's hot. Oh, she's hot. But not so good. And then this guy went in before me. And as he was coming out, the director, Jace Alexander, poked his head out and goes, hey, Billy. And I'm looking, and he takes Billy, and puts his arm around Billy, and starts walking Billy down the hall. And I was like, are you serious? I was like, you know what? That's it, man. That's it. I started taking off my tie, my jacket. I'm like, you know what? Let me tell you guys something. And I'm talking to the remaining Petes and Micahs. Like, let me tell you guys something. I just had my second son. And I have 2 kids, 2 little boys at home. And they're like tiny little chicks, right? They're like these little birds, and their necks are stretching up to the sky. And they're just like waiting for me to fly in. And regurgitate the worm, right? They're waiting for me to regurgitate the worm, and guess what? I got no fucking worm. Okay? I got what's going on here? And Joanne, like, this is how I remember it. You know, she's like sitting the lotus style, lotus position. She's like, dude. She's still to this day, it's like, hey, dude. I don't even think she knows my name. It's just, dude. And she's like, come here, dude.